So over 3,40,000 cases being reported in the last 24 hours. There is, however, a glimmer of hope for us in our fight against this virus. We've accessed data, and you see that on your screens, which suggests that the infection rate in India is now slowing down. A reduction in the R value below 1 indicates that the infection is likely to spread slower than before. Data shows that India's R value has dropped now to 0.98. It was 1.08 on March 5th. It then climbed right up to 1.56 in the third week of April. It's been gradually coming down since then. Essentially, what the R value indicates is the number of people that one COVID positive person can pass on the infection to. And it's been below 1 right now in states like Maharashtra, Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, some of the worst affected states in the country. Let me take this across to Sneha Mordani for more details. Sneha, what really does this mean, a reduction in the R value? Because there's also a question about the positivity rate right now in the country.
The reproduction value of an infection denotes the manner in which the speed at which the virus is spreading. So if the reproduction value is 2, it means one person is in a position to infect 2 other people. If it's 1, it means the person is in a position to infect 1 other person. If it's less than 1, then it certainly means the spread of the infection is slowing down in the country. But this has to be taken with a pinch of salt, because it may not immediately translate into a reduction of caseload in the country. Also, the reproduction value is calculated using the number of recorded and reported cases, which means lab tested positive COVID-19 cases. It certainly doesn't really take into account the people who are not going for the test or are not being able to go for the test and are going unaccounted in the country in terms of unaccounted COVID-19 cases, and that is something that one has to factor in. The same is with the positivity rate. The government obviously has said that the positivity rate is reducing in the country, which is good news, but it continues to be more than 25% in at least 10 to 12 states, which means that for every 100 samples tested, 25 people are still positive. Also, this takes into account only the people who are going in for the test. It doesn't take into account the people who aren't. Plus, the World Health Organization has said that for us to then say that things are under control or the situation is being brought under control, the positivity rate has to be less than 5%. We are far, far away from that target.
In what comes as some good news amid the second COVID wave, the R rate in the country has come down. So it was above 1. It's now come below 1 at 0.98. And this is nationally. It has gone back to before the second wave number. So it means that the infection rate is slowly coming down. Let's look at it also state-wise. And if you look at the graph collectively, you can see that there is a downward trend in every single state. And it's states which have been reporting the most number of cases, which have been the worst affected in the second wave, like Maharashtra, Delhi. You're seeing that it's gone below 1 here too. At 0.82 in Maharashtra, it's at 0.71 in Delhi. Karnataka is still above the 1 mark. It's at 1.06, though it has come down compared to what it was earlier. Uttar Pradesh and Bihar also, you can see that the R value has come down, which is good news. It's states like Uttar Pradesh where cases have been going up. The R value is at 0.80 and Bihar is at 0.87. This does indicate largely that perhaps the worst is over, but we cannot afford to take that for granted right now. Meanwhile, there's been a lot of debate, a lot of discussion on the extension of the vaccine gap, especially if you're administered Covishield. White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci has endorsed the extension of this gap between the first and second dose of Covishield vaccine. He says that this is a reasonable approach by India, especially with cases soaring.
I would not refer to it as a cover-up. When you don't have enough vaccines, what you've got to do is try to get as many people vaccinated as you possibly can. And for that reason, when you have a shortage of vaccine, extending the duration between the first and the second dose in order to get more people to at least get a first dose is a reasonable approach. The fact that you delay it that long, it is very unlikely that it would have a negative effect on the efficacy of the vaccine. So in many respects, when you are in a very difficult situation, the way you are in India, you have to try and figure out ways to get as many vaccines into people as quickly as you can. So that, I believe, is a reasonable approach to do. I wouldn't call that a cover-up at all.
Coronavirus is wreaking havoc in several states. States like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar are struggling, and there are bodies that have been seen floating in the rivers. India Today's Ashutosh Mishra embarked on a journey from Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh to Buxar in Bihar. And we recorded devastating images on camera of countless bodies on both sides of the Ganges.
Dozens of decomposed bodies washed up on the banks of Ganga in Uttar Pradesh's Ghazipur. Images that horrified India. India Today reached ground zero to investigate the mystery surrounding these floating dead bodies. As our cameras rolled, 3 bodies were recovered by the administration. The person pulling out the dead bodies was neither wearing a PPE kit nor any protective gear.
Today, me and my cameraman Sanjay Kumar are boarding one boat and will travel from Ghazipur to Buxar to understand why the people, those who are located, those who are living alongside the Ganga River on these big towns, small towns, why they are doing with this to their family members, their loved ones.
Locals claim bodies have floated down and washed up on the banks of Gemar.
बाहर से ज़्यादा लौट से आ रहे हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो गंगा का मोड़ है जो वो सीधे इधर ही आ रहा है। देख कटान देख सकते हैं आप, कटान देख सकते हैं तो कटान सीधे हमारा यहाँ आ रहा है तो लाश जो बह के आ रही है हमारे किनारे पर लग जा रही है।
और ये ऐसा नहीं है गांव का लाश नहीं है, ठीक है, अदर का उसने वह करा रहा है और ये न्यूज़ के माध्यम से गांव को लोगों को इतना भ्रमित किया जा रहा है, ये अच्छी मतलब गांव के लिए अच्छा ये संदेश नहीं है।
Wearing a mask under her nose, local BJP MLA said nothing like this is happening and that bodies washing up is a natural phenomenon.
ये कुछ ऐसा कुछ हो थोड़ी रहा है, ये नेचुरल है। लाशें उधर से बह के आई हैं, यहाँ लग गई।
कहाँ से आ रही हैं?
ये कहाँ से आ रही है ये कोई विषय नहीं है। मतलब ये तो प्रयागराज से भी लोग छोड़ रहे हैं। कुछ मान्यता है कि लोग ऐसे ही प्रवाह कर देते हैं, जल प्रवाह, और वही लाशें हैं जो यहाँ आके किनारे लग जाती हैं। कटान है चूंकि तो हवा का रुख जिधर जाता है उधर रुक जाती है।
The local DM is carrying out an awareness campaign.
हम लोग लगातार पेट्रोलिंग करा रहे हैं और स्वयं भी मूवमेंट पे हैं और लोगों के बीच जा रहे हैं। हमारी टीमें जा रही है लोगों के बीच में और हम ये इंश्योर कर रहे हैं कि किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो। हम लोग जनपद में लगातार भ्रमणी इसीलिए कर रहे हैं कि हमारे जनपद के किसी भी वासी को इस तरह की परेशानी न आए, क्योंकि कोविड से लोग वैसे ही परेशान हैं और बीमारी ऐसी है कि लोग भयभीत भी हो जाते हैं।
Next, India Today boarded a boat from Ghazipur and proceeded towards Buxar.
We are taking this boat from Gamar Ghazipur to Buxar's Narbatpur to see the situation in reality, how furious it is. As far as those images, those surfaced so far are only the trailer. The situation is much serious.
Where too, over a dozen bodies were found floating in the Ganga. The only thing India Today's cameras recorded were bodies from Gemar to Panchmukhi Ghat. When the boat moved from one side of the Ganga to the other, the scenes became more frightening. Dogs and crows were seen eating the remains of the corpses.
So far you have only seen the trailer of the tragedy. Here in River Ganga, one after one, the bodies, the number of dead bodies floating on the river cannot be counted. And we just started from Ghazipur on this boat. So far the dead bodies that have been recovered by the administration were cremated, were given last rites. But here alongside the river, dead bodies, those who are floating, had now gone near the embankment areas. And number of those dead bodies in Ganga here in Ghazipur cannot be counted. And this explains the tragedy, the kind of tragedy unfolded in eastern Uttar Pradesh.
Locals claim that by taking advantage of the night, many people in the remote villages of the district are dumping the bodies in Ganga.
पानी का बवाह है ये बिहार से जाता है, उधर से हरिद्वार से होते हुए आता है तो ये उधर ही जाता है, तो 100 जो है किनारे उधर ही घाटों के किनारे लग जाते हैं।
ज़्यादा कब हुई थी ये?
ज़्यादा 15 दिन के अंदर में हुआ सब।
15 दिन में ज़्यादा बढ़ी है।
हाँ
आप ये देखा कहाँ से आ रही हैं, कहाँ से बह के आ रही हैं?
ये तो गाजीपुर जिले से बह कर आ रही है।
Uttar Pradesh police is now patrolling the river and also appealing to the people to not dump bodies in the Ganga.
आप पूरी तरह से लकड़ियों की व्यवस्था है नहीं है, आप लेके आए, आपके पास अगर धनाभाव है, आप अक्षम है, प्रशासन आपकी मदद को तैयार है, प्रशासन आपको लकड़ी उपलब्ध कराएगा, दाह संस्कार की पूरी व्यवस्था करेगा। इसलिए आप लोग किसी भी कीमत पे गंगा जी में शव प्रवाहित न करें, ना ही अधजले शव छोड़ के जाएं।
As I conclude my 4 hours long journey from Gazipur to Bihar's Buxar, while covering the devastation and the gravity of devastation during this pandemic across the Ganges, dead bodies floating, vultures, dogs, crow are eating the dead bodies. They are decomposing. It is now a potential threat to further spread another epidemic in this region. There is sense of fear. People are scared. Administrative efforts are very poor. Biggest question that comes in the mind, who are these people? If the death numbers on paper remain so poor, who are these people who are floating over the rivers, who died without dignity? Who are these people? Bringing you this ground report from Gazipur to Buxar with Sanjay Kumar, I'm Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
There's been a worrying spike in coronavirus cases in the state of Goa, and it's also led to a huge issue as there are no beds even available for the COVID-19 patients. People can be seen lying on the floor, and these are patients waiting for doctors and nurses. Saurabh Bhaktania with this report.
COVID patients lying on the floor at the Goa Medical College. There are no beds here. Look towards the left or the right and all you will see are hapless patients. As the state witnesses a big spike in cases, these images show the sorry state of the health infrastructure. They are everywhere, on the right and left, in what reflects the crumbling medical infrastructure of the state.
One of the most famous destination for holidaying, not just in India but also abroad, Goa is facing deadly coronavirus. The cases are much high and the death ratio is continuously increasing. The positivity rate is over 50% while the recovery rate is just 70%. Now we are right now present outside Goa Medical College Hospital and the conditions over here are extremely bad. We have seen the video inside the hospital where how patients are lying on floors. They are not getting proper beds. There are no equipments. Patients' relatives are present inside and such horrific visuals are coming out from this medical college.
The hospital has recorded dozens of deaths. The highest was on May 11 when 26 people died allegedly due to the lack of oxygen. The kin of the deceased allege that the oxygen supply at the hospital is a big problem.
कोई तो उन पर रोशनी डालो, इन लोगों को, गोवा के लोगों को बचा लो सर, मेरा इतना ही आपको रिक्वेस्ट है सर, प्लीज। आज मेरे जीजा जी के साथ हुआ होगा और किसी के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए सर।
कामली जी, हम लोग हालात समझ सकते हैं और हम लोग आज तक और इंडिया टुडे पर ये सच्चाई जरूर दिखाएंगे कि आप रोइए नहीं, आप अपना ध्यान रखिए।
सर मेरे सामने मेरे जीजा जी का अंत हो गया सर, लेकिन मैं कुछ नहीं कर सका। मैं बाहर से ऑक्सीजन लेके आया था सर, मैं बाहर से किसके पास से भीख मांग के ऑक्सीजन का सिलेंडर लाया, लेकिन बहुत टाइम हुआ था सर, बहुत टाइम हुआ था।
We are trying to give you the exact visuals from where this oxygen is loaded inside the hospital. Now here in the visuals you can see, these are the trolleys. These trolleys have several oxygen cylinders. They are brought over here through the tractors and through trucks, and then this oxygen is supplied into the hospital. Now it has been alleged that the oxygen levels drop while refueling it. Here in the visuals you can see the air pressure cannot be maintained. That is the huge allegations which has been made, and this is the logistical issue due to which the oxygen air pressure is not being maintained, and this is the reason why the oxygen does not reach to the patient. The oxygen level suddenly drops, and it has been said at third and the fourth level where the COVID patients are admitted, their oxygen cannot supply, and the oxygen supply breaks down for 3 to 4 times in the midnight.
In fact, at this hospital in the capital Panaji, the patients are allegedly left to fend for themselves as doctors do not attend them regularly. The deaths and medical apathy in Goa has also triggered a political war, with Goa Forward Party filing a criminal case against Goa CM, Chief Secretary and the nodal officer.
We had thought that state would file complaints by taking suo motu cognizance, which has not happened. So it's the duty of the party who wants to protect our people that accountability needs to be fixed. So we have filed a complaint. Now it's time for the police to act, because there are incidents I know wherein NGOs and certain political parties have given oxygen cylinders to even police officers who are suffering due to COVID. So government cannot even protect their own police officers. This is the current state of affairs in the Goa.
From 5% positivity rate in March to 51% now, Goa is battling a major COVID surge. The state's health sector is crumbling, with people dying for the want of oxygen and medical attention. With Saurav Akhtania in Panaji, Bureau Report, India Today.
So coronavirus has wreaked havoc across the world, which is why countries have come together to help each other fight this virus. And then there's China, which is actually minting money from this global crisis. India Today has accessed documents as well as photographic evidence that Chinese companies have not only increased the prices of some products like oxygen concentrators for India, they've actually altered the specifications and the components, comprising or compromising really on quality as well as the life cycle of the machine, which could lead to a medical crisis, a catastrophe in India. According to Indian buyers in China, they've actually rejected many of the consignments that have come from China after finding that the components that were used were actually cheaper alternatives to what was originally or what should be used. These alterations can, of course, severely compromise the safety of the user and of patients who are depending and relying so heavily on these oxygen concentrators. Now, several states have actually suspended vaccination for the 18 to 44 years age group. What's more is over a dozen states have actually now floated global tenders to export vaccines. A country that exported millions of jabs till mid-April, ironically, is now seeking to import vaccines to inoculate its own population.
A drive in disarray.
8 बजे से खड़ी हूँ. मेरी मम्मी का सेकेंड डोज है कोवैक्सीन का.
एकदम कैओस है, कोई पुलिस नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, कोई भी मतलब एकदम मिसमैनेजमेंट.
Shortage of shots in the face of surging infections.
9 बजे से लेके 1 बजे तक का स्लॉट भी दिया है. 9 से लेके 11 बजे तक अंदर एंट्री नहीं दे रहे, जबकि ताला लगा के रखा है.
At least more than 95 crore people form the adult population base in India. But as per the government estimates, we were supposed to inoculate 30 crore people by July this year. India has only done about 1/3 of the population that is above the age of 45. It seems that the targets have been missed by miles, and even with foreign vaccines and their imports, it's still going to take some time to inoculate the maximum population in the country against the coronavirus.
A country that exported 66 million doses of made-in-India COVID vaccines till mid-April is now seeking to import the jabs to fully inoculate its own population.
आज कोई भी वैक्सीन जो FDA अप्रूव्ड है, WHO से अप्रूव्ड है, इंडिया में आ सकता है. उनको इंपोर्ट लाइसेंस चाहिए, वो 2 दिन में मिलेगा, 1 दिन में भी मिलेगा, कुछ है ही नहीं उसमें।
A dozen states are now considering global tenders for COVID vaccines. Till now, India approved Serum Institute's Covishield and Bharat Biotech's domestically developed Covaxin. Russia's Sputnik V is also cleared for emergency use. The central government is now easing the rules to pave the way for others.
फाइजर, मॉडर्ना, J&J के साथ शुरू से टच में है, ऑनगोइंग। हमेशा पूछा, फॉर्मली पूछा, बातचीत करी कि प्लीज़ वुड यू लाइक टू सेंड डोजेस टू इंडिया, प्लीज़ वुड यू लाइक टू मैन्युफैक्चर इन इंडिया, वी विल फाइंड पार्टनर्स, वी विल असिस्ट यू। उन्होंने कहा कि अभी हम अपने तरीके से चले हैं और वैक्सीन अवेलेबिलिटी जो है वो Q3 में बात करेंगे, 21 इस Q3 में देखते हैं जो अवेलेबिलिटी होगी।
The central government has also told the Supreme Court that vaccine manufacturing of Covishield, Covaxin and Sputnik V would be ramped up in the country by July. Hit hard by the pandemic, Maharashtra has announced plans to bid for imports.
ग्लोबल टेंडर्स फ्लोट करना हर कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का अधिकार होता है। अगर बीएमसी ने किया है तो निश्चित तौर पर कुछ अच्छे पर्पस के लिए ही, अच्छे ऑब्जेक्टिव के लिए ही किया है। तो WHO ने पास करने के बाद सिर्फ हमारे इंडिया में यूज़ करना है या नहीं करना है, इसके बारे में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की सिर्फ एक फॉर्मल परमिशन चाहिए होती है।
The city of Mumbai, meantime, floated global tenders for 10 million doses. The procurement is estimated at rupees 400 crore. Down south in Tamil Nadu, the new government has emphasized the need for imports.
The state government had a high-profile meeting in which they have decided that a global tender will be called for, wherein they will be trying to procure sufficient amount of vaccines globally and ensure that 18 to 45 age group will also start getting their vaccination done.
Battling the ferocious wave, Karnataka too is looking at global bids.
Definitely we are trying to negotiate, to connect wherever we can get the vaccines readily. We are trying to mobilize and ensure that whatever might be the demand, we are trying to comply with the demand and ensure everybody gets the vaccine.
Similar moves are being pursued by Haryana up in the north, and also by Rajasthan for import of 1 crore vaccines. With Akshay Anath in Chennai and Milan Sharma in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And all the latest live updates on the vaccination drive are up